Hello there. My name is Jason Jensai. Welcome to Star Wars Duels. This video is Darth Sidious versus Count Dooku and Asajj Ventress. Star Wars Duels is a series where I analyze 2 or sometimes 3 Star Wars characters' tactics, mentality, and power and explain what I think would happen if those characters fought each other. The battlefield for this duel will be the forest moon of Endor. All 3 duelists will be taken from the time right before Dooku betrays Ventress. While you watch, tell me in the comments, who do you think would win? Do you think Dooku is planning to overthrow Sidious with the help of Ventress? And how many Wookiees would it take to kill an Ewok? Darth Sidious is the Sith Master to Darth Tyrannus. Because of the nature of the dark side, Tyrannus trained his own apprentice to help him overthrow Sidious. That apprentice was Ventress. However, even together, Tyrannus and Ventress will struggle to deal with the speed, skill, and ferocity of Darth Sidious. Darth Tyrannus, also known as Count Dooku, is one of the greatest lightsaber duelists of all time. He has 5 duels with Ventress and Asajj, Obi-Wan and Anakin, and even Master Yoda. Tyrannus uses Form 2 of lightsaber combat. Form 2 is all about precision, leverage, and skill. The best way to describe it is fencing. Tyrannus uses one hand, keeps a nimble posture, and keeps his blade pointed straight towards his opponent. Tyrannus constantly sidesteps his enemy's attacks to keep them on the defensive while relentlessly testing their defenses with short, efficient stabs and slashes. Tyrannus is an expert at hand-to-hand combat and force abilities, so he incorporates kicks, punches, force pushes, and force lightning blasts into his duels. Tyrannus is fast enough to dodge Ventress's relentless attacks for over 5 seconds. He's fast enough to keep up with Yoda, and fast enough to dodge a force push. Tyrannus is skilled enough to slice Anakin's lightsaber in half while battling him. Tyrannus is tough enough to resist the torture of Mother Talzin's magics. However, Tyrannus' strength is not as impressive as his other abilities. Tyrannus is constantly retreating and seeking better leverage to defend himself from stronger opponents like Anakin Skywalker. Against extremely powerful opponents like Asajj Ventress, Tyrannus tries to dodge rather than block. In his duel against Asajj and Ventress, Tyrannus blocks one attack from Asajj, and that attack knocks him across the room and disarms him. Tyrannus is a skilled duelist. He is not strong, but he is fast and very skilled. Tyrannus is more than an expert lightsaber duelist. He is a powerful Sith Lord. Tyrannus' telekinesis is extremely powerful, and he has mastered force lightning. Tyrannus implements his force abilities into combat seamlessly. Most Jedi rarely use the force in battle, and when they do, they pause to gather their strength before launching their attack. But Tyrannus smoothly transitions from lightsaber dueling to using force powers instantly. Tyrannus used a force attack 10 times in his duel with Ventress and Asajj, which lasted about a minute and a half. Although it's not as powerful as his masters, Tyrannus' force lightning was able to kill Ventress in just a few seconds. Tyrannus is a powerful force user, but the reason his force powers are so extraordinary is the frequency with which he uses them. Ventress has been taught the basics by a master swordsman, but Asajj was trained only as an assassin. She is cunning and stealthy. Ventress rarely attacks unless she has the upper hand. This is why she has the reputation of running away. It is not fear, it is patience. But when Ventress attacks, she goes all in. Ventress primarily uses Form 4. It is acrobatic, fast, and aggressive. Form 4 users try to overwhelm their opponent with speed. They outflank, attack, and overwhelm. However, Dooku taught Ventress his preferred lightsaber form, Form 2. Ventress combines her speed with precision. But Ventress does not simply use her lightsabers, she uses her environment. Ventress uses her agility to lead her opponent into a trap, whether it's slicing a pipe and releasing a stream of pressurized gas towards her opponent, dropping a few heavy objects on her opponent, or simply leading them into an ambush. Ventress is always planning a creative trap for her adversaries. Ventress is cunning, fast, and precise. One of Ventress' most impressive duels is her and Asajj versus Count Dooku. After Asajj leaves, she manages to survive the duel by force pushing Dooku's lightsaber just a little off target for a killing blow and straight into a pipe. That pipe immediately releases a stream of pressurized gas, which temporarily blinds Dooku, allowing Ventress to retrieve her lightsabers and escape. As mentioned earlier, Ventress is very creative, not just with her lightsabers and her mobility, but also with the Force. Ventress uses the Force like a part of her body. To her, the Force is like another set of muscles, unlike most Force users who use it like a weapon or a tool. Ventress's most powerful use of the Force was when she broke through both Anakin and Obi-Wan's Force walls, Force choking them simultaneously. Although Obi-Wan's Force wall was not very strong, choking both him and Anakin is extremely impressive. However, at the time she had just been betrayed by Dooku. Her rage gave her focus and is probably the only reason she was able to accomplish this. Still, despite her relative lack of power, her creativity is extremely impressive. Asajj Ventress is extremely skilled, blindingly fast, and very cunning. She uses her speed and precision to guide her opponents into a trap and take them out. Ventress and Tyrannus are very similar. Both are fast and skilled, but lack strength. Both smoothly use the Force in combat. Their tactics are complementary. They both wait for their opponent to make a mistake, but Ventress actively pressures her opponent into a mistake, while Tyrannus simply waits for the mistake. Ventress will follow Tyrannus' lead. Tyrannus is an expert at positioning. He has dueled multiple opponents numerous times during the war, which gives him a great understanding of how to position himself for a 2-on-1 duel. While Tyrannus is positioning himself to most effectively provoke a mistake, Ventress will keep the pressure on and search for a creative way to attack the enemy. Both will constantly overwhelm the enemy with every type of attack: Force lightning, telekinesis, kicks, and of course their lightsaber attacks. Tyrannus and Ventress are formidable opponents, but together they are even more deadly. Darth Tyrannus is a deadly Sith Lord, and Ventress is extremely skilled, but Darth Sidious is the most powerful Sith Lord ever. Sidious is almost always in control. He tricked the galaxy into making him Emperor by controlling both sides of the Civil War. When Sidious gets in a duel, he usually tests his opponents with a blast of Force lightning, but if his opponent pulls out a lightsaber, he will usually activate his own lightsaber. Sidious's lightsaber attacks are direct, focused, and aggressive. Sidious uses Form 7 of lightsaber combat. Form 7 is extremely offensive. Users of Form 7 believe that an overwhelming offense can make up for a lack of defense. Sidious's defense is mostly just dodges and counterattacks. Sidious likes to control battles with his offense. If he is losing control, he will fall back on the Force to regain control. If the opponent is just defending himself, they are not attacking, and they are not a threat. To Sidious, offense means control, and control means power. Sidious is an old man, but through the power of the Force, he is stronger, faster, and more precise than a human in peak physical condition. Sidious was able to almost match Savaj's strength in his duel against Savage and Maul, but strength is not Palpatine's strong point. Right before their blade lock, Sidious was able to easily dodge several of Savage's attacks. In Revenge of the Sith, Sidious was able to keep up with Yoda for a bit. And when Windu tried to arrest Palpatine, Palpatine attacked suddenly and swiftly. He moved so fast that he was able to take out 3 Jedi Masters in about 5 seconds. Sidious is extremely fast and incredibly skilled. Of course, we are talking about Sidious, so we have to talk about his battle with Windu. Sidious versus Windu is a very nuanced fight because, on the one hand, Sidious was beaten, but he may have faked it so that Anakin would turn to the dark side. For proof that Sidious intended to lose the fight, just watch this part where Sidious holds Windu at sword point. Palpatine could have easily killed him right there, but he didn't. However, George Lucas has said that Windu did defeat Sidious. I think at this point, when they get in the blade lock, is when the fight turns towards Windu. Up until that point, Sidious was in control, but suddenly he is no longer as offensive, he is retreating. Then Windu disarms Palpatine and has him at saber point. An awesome video analyzing this fight is Antoine Vandewey's video, Mace vs Sidious, who was in control. Regardless of whether he was defeated by Mace, Sidious has proven himself to be a skilled warrior with his lightsaber, but his lightsaber is only the beginning. Sidious is very strong with the Force. He has both talent and training. Darth Sidious's first reaction in a fight is Force lightning. If he feels endangered, he will unleash a torrent of lightning to repel the enemy. If he has the upper hand, he will finish off his opponent with Force lightning. If the battle is just beginning, he will test his opponent with a burst of lightning. Sidious uses Force lightning all the time, and for a good reason. His lightning is extremely powerful. At the beginning of his duel with Yoda, Sidious was able to hit Yoda with Force lightning, proving his speed. At the end of his duel with Yoda, Sidious was able to match Yoda's Force absorb with his lightning, proving his power. One of Palpatine's most impressive demonstrations of Force lightning is in his duel with Windu. When Sidious shoots his lightning at Windu, Windu, who was holding a lightsaber, struggled to block the lightning. In Episode 2, Obi-Wan easily blocked Dooku's lightning with one hand on his lightsaber, while in Episode 3, Windu is struggling to hold back Palpatine's lightning with both his hands hanging onto his lightsaber. But Sidious has more than just lightning. He frequently uses telekinesis. Sidious has tossed them all around, hurled entire Senate pods at a rate of 1 every 2 seconds, and even force-choked Dooku from across the galaxy. Sidious's telekinesis is ridiculously strong. Darth Sidious is always in control. Offense leads to control, and control leads to power. Sidious is always seeking power, so he is very offensive. Sidious is extremely fast, surprisingly strong, and incredibly skilled. When it comes to the Force, Sidious is unbelievably powerful. Sidious is not just a cunning politician who became Emperor through manipulation and secrecy. He is a powerful Sith Lord. All 3 combatants are extremely fast, incredibly skilled, but not very strong compared to their other abilities. Dooku and Ventress use the Force more smoothly, but Sidious is definitely stronger. Before I reveal who I think would win, tell me who you think would win in the comments. Finally, let's begin. Darth Tyrannus and Ventress ignite their lightsabers. Across the wooden bridge, Darth Sidious's hilt appears in his hand. As he ignites his first blade, a second lightsaber appears in Sidious's left hand. Ventress leaps toward Sidious, but he knocks her to the side with a casual force push. Tyrannus instantly stretches out his hand and lifts Ventress up to the other side of Sidious. Sidious leaps towards Ventress and begins overwhelming her. Dooku quickly leaps forward to take his master's attention away from his apprentice. Before Sidious can kill her, Ventress leaps away and throws off his balance with a force push. Sidious quickly recovers, but is attacked by Tyrannus. Tyrannus stabs and slashes at Darth Sidious, but Sidious twists to one side and avoids Tyrannus' attacks before countering with a flurry of his own attacks. As Sidious pushes Tyrannus backward, Ventress launches herself at his flank. Sidious defends himself from Ventress' attacks while pushing Tyrannus back with his own offensive. Tyrannus retreats toward the edge of the platform until he is at the very end. Tyrannus desperately tries to change the momentum of the battle, but he leaves himself open and Sidious knocks him over the edge with a quick force push. Sidious turns his attention toward Ventress, but it is too late. Ventress slashes the wooden planks that form the platform, and the ground beneath Sidious falls. As he drops to the ground, Sidious force pulls Ventress down with him. As Sidious lands on the ground, Dooku attacks. He stabs high before sidestepping Sidious's counterattack and swiping low. Sidious leaps over the attack and kicks Dooku in the head. Dooku softens the impact by leaping backward, but he still falls to the ground and drops his lightsaber. Sidious lifts Dooku into the air with a force choke, but before Sidious can finish off Tyrannus, Ventress ferociously attacks. Ventress swipes at Sidious from every angle, as Tyrannus slowly rises to his feet and summons his lightsaber. Ventress flips backward to avoid a deadly attack from Sidious, but as she lands on the ground, Sidious yanks her forward with the force and stabs her through the stomach with both his blades. Tyrannus is alone against the Dark Lord of the Sith. Dooku steps forward and attacks, but before he can get 3 attacks off, Sidious uses his second blade to put Tyrannus on the defensive. Tyrannus backpedals, avoiding uneven ground and retreating up into the Ewoks' platforms. Tyrannus struggles to keep up. He barely fends off Sidious for 15 seconds. Dooku suddenly leaps backward and force pushes Sidious to create space between them. Then, as Sidious attacks, Tyrannus leaps over him and slashes the bridge. For the second time, the ground underneath Sidious collapses. Sidious lands on the ground and cackles as he deignites his lightsabers. Sidious lifts his hands in the air and collapses the entire Ewok structure around Tyrannus. The wood cracks and falls to the ground. Tyrannus lands on the ground, using the force to protect himself from the splinters and planks of wood crashing down all around him. Tyrannus leaps towards his master, but Sidious unleashes torrents of force lightning against him. Tyrannus' charge is abruptly stopped as he lifts up his lightsaber and struggles to push against the stream of lightning coming out of the Dark Lord's fingertips. Darth Sidious smiles and pours in more power. Tyrannus' lightsaber is knocked from his hand and his back arches as his body is engulfed by electricity. Dooku falls to the ground in agony before his master. Dooku and Ventress are very skilled and deadly warriors, but Darth Sidious is the most powerful Sith Lord. So with that, thanks for listening to what I think about Darth Sidious versus Lord Tyrannus and Asajj Ventress. If you have any criticisms, compliments, or questions, make sure you leave a comment. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and all that stuff, subscribe button, share the video, you know what to do. Thank you for watching, and remember, whenever you watch episode 4, you're looking at something that was made with over 40-year-old technology. May the Force be with you, always.